Welcome back to my vlog. My name is Tammy once again, and I'm probably going to be saying that for a while until I'm regularly making videos and you guys are used to seeing me on here. So anyhow, like I said in the last video, I wanted to make a second one that was going to answer some questions specifically related to somebody that is dating or that's engaged or married to somebody that's incarcerated. My last video was more about like court stuff, and so this one will be specifically related to some questions that a few people had wanted me to do a video for. So I had some notes here, so forgive me if you see me looking down. Hope the quality of this video is okay too. Let me know if it's not. This is a new laptop, so this is just me getting used to the new media. So the first question that I was going to go into and I guess answer from my perspective is what to expect of visiting. So this is definitely something that is super important if you have somebody that you're actually going to visit at an institution, prison, or a jail, or even like a camp, if you have those in your state. So I can tell you my experience, and I know every facility is going to be different, but like they're somewhat similar in a way. So pretty much the very first visit that I went to go see my husband, I made sure that I had his DOC number. I had my driver's license because they will definitely ask for that. And also before all of that, before you go to visit, you want to make sure that you get on their visiting list. So I know in Washington State now, everything is done online through the Department of Corrections. They have a form that you fill out, and then they'll let you know once you're approved. I guess you could call the prison and ask if you're on their visiting list, and they could take a look, but usually like they'll let you know if you're approved. And for me, I think it took like a week or two. It wasn't that long. It just depends as well, like on your criminal history. Some people, like if you say you have a felony or misdemeanor, or you just had a court case, or you're on probation or parole, some of the facilities won't allow you to be on their visiting list until like you've been off. Like for me, for instance, I was on probation from 2009 until 2011. I think it was, I was on 3 years, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I got off in like 2012, I think. And they said I had to have been off probation for 2 years before I was able to apply to be on his list. So I definitely got lucky there. But yeah, so you just want to like for sure like check into that and make sure that you're on their visiting list. But once you are approved to go visit and you show up for the first visit, you want to make sure that number one, it's a visiting day. Like for the prisons especially, they'll switch like depending on his unit, like he might have a visit on Saturday instead of Sunday. And then also make sure you're going during the right times because like our facility is 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. But you can't go on before 10:45 a.m. So just go onto the website or call the facility or ask your friend or your loved one what the procedure is, and they'll know. Like it's really easy for them to find out. So make sure you bring your driver's license. I've seen people bring passports as well, and they've been able to get in with that. And you want to make sure to bring in, what did I say? Driver's license, and you want to bring in money if you're going to be there for a while, and that's going to be for food. The facility that I'm at, let me see if I can get my wallet so I can show you guys. Okay, so the facility that my husband is at doesn't have, like you don't bring actual money into the visiting room. I don't know if you can see this. It looks like a debit card. It's like the most basic card ever. So that's what our facility has. It was $1 to get one of these cards. I actually have 4 of them because I've left them at home and then like needed to put money on, gotten new cards, and I bring in 2 at a time. We can put, it used to be $40 per card, but they just raised it to $75 per card. So I would bring in 2 at a time, just in case we ever went over $40. I had extra money. But a lot of facilities, like I know in California, they actually have you bring in money. So people bring in just quarters. I think I've heard of people bringing in like $20 or $40 in quarters into the visiting room. So you want to make sure to bring money with you as well. I'm trying to think what else. Usually when you get into the visiting room, they'll have you check in with a correctional officer, and they'll have you like fill out a card with the DOC number, the name of the person you're visiting, your name, your relation to them. And then where we're at, they've got a bunch of like small lockers that look like the size of P.O. boxes pretty much. And we'll put our car keys in there. Like if you have a watch, you have to take it off and put it in there as well. Anything that you have on you, you have to put in that locker. You can't bring anything in with you except for a sweater, your driver's license, and then the card that you fill out. And then, of course, the debit card that I put money on. I can bring that in, and that's it. So like I said, there's a process when you get in there. They'll let you know if it's your first time, or hopefully, like I did, you'll meet a really cool person that is a regular, and they will take you under their wing and they will show you exactly what needs to be done. Like I had this older man in his 60s probably, and he was so sweet. I had a $5 bill because that's what you needed to get a card to put money on, and it would not take it. Like it ended up like ripping in half. And so he actually like yelled in the visiting room around to like see if anybody else had another like money to like give me or like trade with me. He was really sweet, and like he showed me where I had to go and like what I had to do. So yeah, it would be awesome if you met somebody that, you know, showed you what to do. And I always help new people that I see that come in there and look really confused, just because I remember what it was like to go through that. And for me, it was like, it wasn't scary to like see him, like the first visit seeing him. I was more nervous about being at the prison and like not knowing what to do, what the process was, you know, where to go, all of that. Like that's what I was more nervous about. So, yeah, so once you check in, they'll have you go, like you have to take off a belt, like a sweater, you take your shoes off. Usually any jewelry, like my wedding ring I leave on, but like if I had earrings or anything like that, I would take them off. You put them in like a tote thing, and then they go through a little like a detector like they have at the airport, like an x-ray thing, and then they'll have you walk through on the other side through a metal detector. They never search us, like pat us down, but they'll have you like turn your pockets inside out, pull up your pant leg, and they have me put my hands in my back pockets, and then you walk through, and then they put a stamp on your hand, and then they'll hand you your card, and then they'll show you where to walk through, and then you get to the other side, and like you're fully checked in and like ready to visit. Once you get to the other side, that's going to be the room that you're in for the duration of the visit. I know our room looks like a cafeteria. It reminds me of my high school cafeteria. And a lot of women that I talk to from all over the country, they tell me that it's really similar. Like the facility where they're at usually looks like a cafeteria. You walk in, there'll be like one desk usually, or 2 desks, where there's the visiting room sergeant and then the correctional officers that are in there. And then probably along one line of the wall, there'll be a bunch of vending machines. And maybe like on the other side of the room, there'll be a children, like an area for children to play or watch movies. And then there's probably just a crap ton of visiting tables. I think we have 80, something like 70 or 80 where he's at. So there are quite a few tables. We get there first. So I always go and find out what table I'm at, and then I'll go to the vending machines and get all of our food for the duration of the visit. And then I'll take the food back to the table, and then I'll probably go get a game. Like we always play Scrabble. So I'll get a Scrabble, I'll bring it back to the table, and then I'll just sit there and I'll wait for him. Some facilities you have to sit across from each other, but we can actually sit next to each other. So you just want to make sure that you're sitting in the right spot. And then he comes out usually about 5 minutes later. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, depending on like where the unit is compared to where visiting is at. But once he comes out, like we're allowed to give each other a hug and a kiss. They're not really strict, luckily, at the prison that my husband's at. So they don't count 5 seconds. You know, they don't get in trouble like if it's longer than 5 seconds that you're hugging or kissing. There's usually a lot of people in there when I get in there. So I'm the type of person, like I don't like a bunch of people watching me, so I'm not going to sit there and make out in front of a bunch of people that I don't know. So we'll give each other a kiss and a hug, and then like we sit down and have our visit. So that pretty much sums up, I guess, like the rules of like visiting and checking in and all of that. And they'll have rules, like you'll know, like you're not allowed to be, some prisons like won't let you touch above the wrist, like so you'll know if it's like that. They'll come around and like tell you if like there's too much touching. So you'll see, you know, I always watch people around me just to see how they act, and that kind of like, you know, tells me how we can act. So that is for that. If you have any questions about anything, let me know, of course, and I'll answer that for you. So what to wear, that is like another huge question that like people always ask. Again, our facility is really lenient compared to like the prison that my husband was at a few years ago. I can wear a top that actually shows a little bit of cleavage, and I could wear like a dress that comes to my knees if I wanted to. I'm not a dress person though. I usually wear like the long maxi skirts. And I can even wear the ones with the slits on the side, and they're okay with that. They won't let you wear camo. They won't let you wear tank tops. You have to cover your shoulders. You can't wear anything with a hood on it. Like every prison is different. Some prisons you can't wear certain colors. I know California, they've got like a long list of colors that you can't wear. Our prison mainly is like about tank tops, hoodies, camo. You can't wear steel toe boots. I'm trying to think. That's probably it. I know like the watch thing I mentioned, you can't wear watches. No hats or like scarves or anything like that unless it's for like religious purposes. I think that is about it. You can wear like your hair up if you want. Yeah, that's pretty much it for clothing wise. You just want to check online to see what their rules are for that. So a couple other questions really quick. I have 2 minutes left. Ways to pass time. I try to keep myself as busy as possible because I feel like that makes time go by super quick. I'm in school full time. While he's incarcerated, I'm trying to do as much as I can to make it easier for like when he does come home. So school, working on our credit, because we want to buy a house as soon as, you know, he gets out and like starts working and everything. Starting a career, if you have kids, like working with your kids, taking them, you know, to go do things, just like anything that you can find, like to better yourself, to better your situation, like that's what you want to be doing. If you're not working, if you're on disability, like get Netflix, you know, find a bunch of shows to watch on TV, or like, you know, do what you can, just, you know, reach out to other people, maybe like have friends, get together, you know, just don't sit home alone and like just stare at the clock all day long, because that is going to make time go by so slow, and it's going to be so much harder for sure. And then last question, ways to lift your man up. So really quick, going to answer this. My husband, he's been in for so long, so I think he's just found ways to entertain himself in prison. He's a prankster. Like him and his cellie are always going around playing tricks on people, and he's always in a good mood, even though he's stuck in prison. And I know it's because he knows he can't get out right now. So I would suggest listening as much as possible, being there for him, you know, asking what you can do for him. Like if he does seem down or upset or depressed, you know, everybody's different. So you just have to, I guess, reach out. But anyway, I'm going to end this right now. I'm almost at 15 minutes. Please subscribe to my channel, share it. ask any questions if you have any below, and I will be sure to answer that. And see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.